Andy, let's talk about the chicken's favorite composer.
Well, you got to qualify. What is a German chicken's
The
favorite?
German chicken's composer, the favorite.
Yeah, it's a Bach.
Oh man.
We shared. Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
All good. All good. So you're here
Yes.
at the Ibanez Clinic.
Very happy to be back in Germany.
I am happy to have you here.
Thank you. You just told a story that we first met at Frankfurt at the Messe.
Oh man. I was standing there,
Yeah?
waiting for autograph,
Yeah.
and you saw me like, who's that guy?
Oh.
And I was waiting for, I don't know, maybe half an hour. And you saw me waiting.
Yeah.
And what you did,
Yeah.
you pulled up a chewing gum. Like, want some?
All right.
That.
I can be nice on some days. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. Great, man. Well,
But from that point, I love you.
well, I love you too, man. I'm glad to be with you again, and thanks for taking the time to sit down with me and
Goody. So,
chat.
yeah. So we have you here as a tone guy for
Oh.
Ibanez, for Mr. Boogie,
Thanks.
and one of my favorite players ever.
Oh,
You are.
Thank you.
So
It's because of my tuning. It's my special tuning, I think.
special
that's what you
tuning, yeah,
like,
sure. So, so what's the lick for today? So what's the last thing you figured out on guitar?
Last thing I figured out on guitar was two things. I saw the Brian May Queen movie recently, so I've been on a Brian May kick. So you know.
That was original, man. Note by note.
Okay, well, but I didn't have this. I need to get the sixpence. He uses a coin, of course,
Yeah.
for his tone, and he uses a 1947 King George sixpence. So when I found that out, I've been voraciously taking in Brian May videos online, and some great footage of him. He has an old Starlix video that's online.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Yeah.
amazing, and he talks about the coin he uses, and they changed the material after 1950 that the coin was made out of. So if you get one 1950 or before, he prefers 1947. I think that's his birth year. So what did I do? That night I went on eBay and I found some 1947 sixpence coins. That should be at my house in McKinney, Texas by now. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that. Then I won't sound anything like Brian May. But you know, after seeing the movie, I really went back and listened a lot to my favorite A Night at the Opera and Day at the Races.
Yeah.
And I guess just because I'm older and more mature and my ears are more tuned. When I was a kid, I always knew that, well, this is very complex. It's astounding the amount of work that they did, the creativity, the combination of influences, but the layering of the vocals and all the work that Brian did on the guitar.
The guitar singing all the time. Yeah.
Always. And all his
And that wide vibrato.
yeah, and the orchestration, it's stunning. It really is. So I've been learning. I learned some of the licks, but I'm also learning just some of the chords. There's a song called "Take My Breath Away." You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a beautiful piano line.
Yeah.
But there's that part in the melody that goes. But this part. But this part. It's the same melody.
Yeah. Sure.
Those are the moments that I live for in music, where it's that little common tone modulation, and they do it so brilliantly. So
You do lots of listening to music and lots of like transcribing.
yeah,
Yeah.
over
Because you
ti-
can learn every day from that.
you can learn
every day.
and that's
yeah.
what I try to tell people. But I'm also when I teach, I'm telling myself, because
Yeah.
the more I do it, the happier I am. Like, I'm so thrilled that luckily I had learned something when you asked me, what'd you learn? Oh, great, I got one. Because sometimes you go through periods of time where you're just busy or you don't get around to it. But if you can learn one little bit like that every day, that's what adds up, and it draws that the connection between your mind and your ear and your guitar. You
Yeah.
know.
I mean, you did all the Sgt. Pepper's Beatles
Yes.
songs on guitar. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a bunch to do, was it?
It was. It would
Because
took
all
me.
the melodies and all the harmony structures, and to get it together within one guitar. Yes.
Yes.
So the bass line, and you have
Well,
to
some
have
of it,
the melody.
can be that simple. Some of it was like we talk about Lucy, because it's that keyboard line though. it's like it was made for guitar, but then the vocal comes in and it's. So for the arrangement, I didn't need anything except the bass. I mean the bass guitar, not. Because the melody's
That's
so.
what I mean. All the half steps down. Yeah.
The whole it's so strong. It doesn't need much, you know. But then when you get the.
It's so awesome, but
Well,
a lot of work to do it. I mean,
Well, it took when I started working on it, it was more of a. It was kind of a. It turned into a hobby. I was just doing it. Just what if I could play the whole Sgt. Pepper just for myself? I wasn't thinking of recording it. But it eventually turned into that, of course. But I took a couple of years of just kind of messing around with it.
Sure. Okay.
Just as a hobby on it. It's not like I worked every day for 2 years. It just was every now and then. Oh, how would I do this? You know.
Yeah.
And it was fun just to try to figure out how to replicate the song just in one linear performance. All the elements that pop out when you hear the song. You know?
A lot of work. Yeah. So last thing I bought from you was Resolution. Very important album for you.
Thank you. That's been a while. 2006.
Yeah.
And so, and the next record that got released was 2011 with the Sgt. Pepper, our version of it.
Yeah.
And then in 2016 we released "Theme from a Perfect World,"
Yeah.
which we didn't get.
I need that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I know somebody. I can get you a very excellent deal. Yeah, it comes with a pack of gum actually, some Big Red.
Big Red.
Yeah, so I'm really proud of that record, but we didn't tour at that time because I had some stuff going on the home front, and so I stayed home at that time. It was post-presidential election, and there was a lot going on. Yeah. So long story short, we didn't tour as much. Some people don't know that record as well, but something I'm really proud of. I think it's a kind of a continuation of Resolution in a way, but as opposed to the Resolution and Pepper record where we did only one guitar track. This record, if we wanted an overdub, we said okay. We'll give ourselves the keys to the toy.
that limitation.
There was no limitation, which is important because the Resolution record and Pepper was fresh for us because it was different than what we'd done in the past. Yeah. As far as you tend to put rhythm guitars down and overdubs are going to need a keyboard. So it was nice to get rid of all that, make it all about just the real trio. The real stripped down. Like when you hear Eric Johnson play, I love that sound.
Yeah, sure.
So.
I mean, what I like in Resolution is the perfect combination between that high performance shredding, like you find on most Mike Varney records, but in the combination with a great feel, with a great tone, with a traditional way of doing the lead guitar.
Right on.
That's exactly the best point. It's not only traditional, it's not only it's pretty much the best balance. You know what I mean?
I mean, for me, the record was about.
That's you, of course.
Thank you.
Who else? Yeah.
Well, thank you. But I mean, I love the songs on that record, and more and more as I go through as an instrumental guitar player. I mean, it's so important to have a good song, and sometimes if the song doesn't need a solo.
Always the melody. The melody dictates everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it should.
And of course the tone.
Yeah.
And
we worked a lot
to have all the gain structures. I mean, you're pretty much effect guy, are you?
Well, I mean, this is mostly about almost everything except that chorus pedal and the echo.
Look at the monster here behind you.
I know it's all about gain though. It's all about the different types of gain that I need to get the different tones.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Sean, you play the Lone Star.
Yeah.
So the Mr. Boogie. I mean, that amp has gain.
It has great gain.
So why do you need those overdrives again here?
I finally got to the point where I realized I was getting more articulate control if I used a pedal for gain than the lead channel of the amp. The reason I started using the Lone Star in 2005 was because it has this wonderful fat lead tone, but it was by accident. I was on a gig and my effects loop stopped working, and I had to put my delay in front of the amp. So you can't use the amp distortion because then you're going to be distorting the delay.
Oopsie.
And I'd been using this JHS Angry Charlie pedal.
Yeah.
And so that became the lead tone of that gig, and I just thought, I like the feel of this. And the sound was really great. Okay, well, so it's just sometimes by accident that set me down a path. Now in the studio, I'll still use amp distortion depending on the type of track I'm doing. But I've gotten really used to dialing in my tone with a clean platform. With the Lone Star has an amazing clean sound, and then dialing everything in that I need in front of it like that.
Yeah. I mean, you have a couple of signature pedals here. So you have a preamp AT, Andy Timmons, and BB. And of course, you have the JHS here.
The JHS, yeah. So, people are always kind of asking how to use them differently, and they were kind of surprised that there was kind of a dual pedal release that happened earlier last year, where the the AT Plus came out at the same time as the reissue of the BB. Says, why do you have two signature pedals? Well, they're two completely different sounds. Whereas the BB, it's when you hear me with a bluesy kind of neck. That's usually that pedal.
Yeah, but the smacking comes from the compressor?
Well, here's without the compressor.
Without? Okay.
So this is... Now what this is, well, I should point, let's go back to the clean sound.
Yeah.
My Carl Martin is set to like really hit the front end of the amp really hard.
Yeah.
But it's only on the clean sound or with the BB. So here's the clean sound. You'll hear how much, it's really not compressing. You see the compression is almost off. Just a little bit, but the output is way up, so. So I'm hitting the front end of that preamp. If I add the BB to that. And again, this was kind of a happy accident. I had some pedals before my Daniel Steinhardt designed pedal layout. I had my gain pedals here, but the compressor was tied to the amp. So it would be the last thing that got hit if I wanted a particular tone. So the BB was before the Carl Martin, which I would always think maybe compressor first, then distortion.
Yeah, normally.
More traditionally, but because I didn't have it cabled properly or whatever, I was like, oh, that's the sound, that's great. And so that's the way I've got it on this board now, where for a while I had gotten away from using those two together, but I realized they really sound great together. So that's now the current setup, the way I use that.
So the BB goes into the compressor?
Yeah. And
okay. So it's like... like having a power ramp.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Giving it some sag. It's giving it kind of a little bit of a sag.
Some sag, yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah. Then the other gain is the old blues driver, which
it's modified by JHS.
It's modified by JHS, but I've kind of found that the modded pedals are cool, but the original blues driver is just as good. Yeah. I think the first one I got, in fact, it was loaned to me. A good buddy of mine back in Texas named Nick Knurk. He loaned me his Keeley modded blues driver.
Yeah.
So, this sounds
They're
great.
Famous, yeah.
And I didn't give it back. I swear to God. Sorry, Nick, I still have your pedal. I said, okay, thank you. And so I started using that, but I liked some of it, and sometimes it was a bit woolly. And so I went on eBay and found just a stock blues driver. It sounds great. Yeah. I don't know if I need it to be modded. Maybe they cleaned it up with true bypass and all this. I'm not really sure what they even do. But on the pedal board like this, you don't really worry about true bypass because it is bypass when I'm not using it. Yeah. So this pedal, it kind of replicates that seemingly like the old Marshall 800 or something. That's that. But that's not how I use it. Okay, keep it on. And so the way I use it, though, is when you hear kind of a bright, clean, slightly broken up sound, it's that pedal, but on my neck pickup. Dial the way off, and then because that's the beauty of a Marshall. When you clean it up a certain way, you've got this beautiful top end.
And you find the attack.
Yeah, you find the attack.
And you hear the pick. Yeah, sure.
Right, there you go. Yeah. It's a really sweet top end. I was reading somewhere the other day that some guys use that with like the gain almost off, but just as their clean sound because of what that does to the brightness. I haven't experimented with that yet.
What kind of awesome delay did you dial in here?
Okay.
It's so bad, man.
Thank you. Well, it's basically, I've got this Strymon timeline, which I've been using for quite a while now, but those that are familiar with my previous pedal board setup, I used to have the Electro Harmonix Deluxe Memory Man. I'd have two of those set because I like the dual delay.
I remember it.
With the brackets that I had, that my sound engineer, Rob Wexler, had designed these. They were literally brackets to hang a potted plant on a fence attached to the...
But you did pretty well with your food.
Yeah, you could just wag it back and forth. They weren't very practical. They ended up breaking the pots off, But that was how I did it. But and those things sound amazing, but they're always, regardless of the bracket, they're always kind of breaking down. They're not really sturdy units, and it takes up a lot of space. So when Strymon came out with this, I spent a long time kind of dialing in the dual delay. And part of the great thing about the old Electro Harmonix is that you could have modulation on the on the repeat. So so it gives
like on tape echo. Yeah,
that's exactly because that's what we're all trying to replicate. I think is we're just getting to that tape echo where things are not quite lined up, and so it gives that gets really out of tune. right? But the guitar tone's not processed. The echo is, as far as the modulation. So you have the in tune note, then the halo around it is out of tune. It really looks.
So together you have the chorus.
It gives it a exactly.
Yeah.
So somebody pointed out to me.
So pretty.
Somebody pointed out to me, my friend Brian, back at the Guitar Sanctuary. It's like, people ask me, how you use delay as an effect. I said, well, Andy doesn't use it as an effect. It's really part of his sound.
Yeah.
And that's really true because I rarely turn it off. I've got that one sound, and I've got an expression pedal, this little mini, is it a Dunlop? Yeah, mini Dunlop. So I can add a little bit or too much. Right? But, without it, it's a good sound. But it allows me to be, I can be more melodic and spacier. And it gives the notes some length, so you can actually sing. You can sing a little bit, right?
And you can adjust the wetness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to find the sweet spot.
Yeah.
But so everything is pretty much gained. I've got the old the G&I, which is a company that are friends of mine down in Brazil in Sao Paulo, and that's my ratty kind of up rock of Hendrix Octavia. Yeah.
I love the tone breaking, man.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's just it's about to just fall apart. Yeah. But that's the quirky thing about the old Octavia is it only kind of works mainly neck pickup and 12th fret. Yeah. Kind of muddy.
I love that.
That's a fun pedal.
Yeah.
So, and then the only new pedal I've got is that Emperor.
The light purple one here?
The light, we could even call it periwinkle, maybe. So that's more traditional chorus in the sense, yeah. It's got a foot switchable bias, which is nice. You get a.
It's a little bit like having a Leslie, a little
It's
bit.
almost
Yeah.
if you get really good with your foot, but it's kind of hard to get in there and get that button.
You need very small foot here.
Like the boost on my KHS. But it does, you can get it to work like that. It may be switchable. I don't know if there may be an expression spot on there. If there's not, maybe I can talk to Josh Scott about that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think
it
you
does
find
sound good. The fast rotary sounds nice on that, right?
But I don't think you find more space for any foot switch here.
But I can always get bigger. I can rub it,
Bigger's always better.
This is my smaller pedal board. I've got one that's a little bigger.
Yeah.
I have one that has the Strymon, the Big Sky, the same size as that, but it's the reverb. It's a really nice. It's a studio quality reverb. It's fantastic. But I've traditionally gotten my ambience from the Echo, but now a little bit of reverb's nice too. Pretty soon I'm going to be, Andy, we can't hear your guitar tone. It's all effect, But I like the space that it creates,
Well, okay, so that's your pedal board,
Yes, it
of
is.
course, yeah. So when you're such a phenomenal player, so what do you think of those guys seeing on YouTube at Jam Track Central, all the new generation of shredders?
I think I'm blown away.
Yeah, me
basically.
too.
I mean, hearing guys like Martin Miller and Tom Quayle.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Oh my God!
Those guys,
I remember I remember seeing a video of Tom Quayle years ago. I wrote him a note. I said, "Man, dude, you sound fucking awesome." So, oh mate, thank you. Oh wow. But no, I mean, it's incredible because it's great to know that younger generations are coming up and they're inspired, and it's a different world now than how we grew up.
Absolutely, because they find everything at YouTube. I mean, you have that. You have everything you need within maybe 10 seconds.
Of
every
course.
lick, every lesson.
Okay, but that's
every idea.
It's a blessing and a curse, though. I mean, I think in some ways, because in my day, Ollie, we didn't have anything. We had a record player in our ear,
and with a tape deck, maybe.
Or tape deck, exactly. So in that, there's a beauty because that's the foundation of a great musician is their ear. We're learning a lot with our eyes now, and it's a shortcut in some ways. But when you learn something with your ear, man, it really it internalizes in a much different way.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a sidetrack. But all to say that, also the cool thing about the internet is that guys like Martin and Tom, you know, because of the internet, we can see them. You know, they could be that great in their bedroom 15, 20 years ago, but nobody would know them.
Nobody.
But now, because it's like Andy McKee, you're familiar with the acoustic guitar, American guitar player?
Sure.
Amazing, technical, beautiful music. But because he just made some videos in his bedroom or somewhere in like Oklahoma, or, you know, and because it was truly great, you know, now he's out gigging, you know, 300 dates a year, right? So in that regard, the internet kind of leveled the playing field as far as the music business, where if somebody truly has something special to offer, people can find you, you know?
I mean, it's very funny to watch it grow. I mean, you know Matias Assato?
I don't know
Matias Assato, the Brazilian guitar player.
Oh, I do know him. I do know him. I've seen him play.
Yeah. And you find all the old videos, like when he was maybe 7 or 8 years old, and you can see his entire life in the YouTube channel.
Right.
That's awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
That's awesome.
Yes,
you see, like the beard is growing, the hair is growing, the guitars are changing.
Yeah.
That's bad. And he's such an awesome player, man.
Yeah, he is great.
He's so gifted.
He is great. So there's hope. There's hope for the world.
There's hope for the world.
Yeah, so now it's just down to making some music. You know?
Absolutely.
Hopefully making some music that connects with people as well as just the flashiness of the chops, right?
That's what we're doing tonight. Because
Are we?
guys
Are we?
Waiting outside.
Oh, they are.
To give you a little clinic here today.
I saw 2 guys out there. That must be the guys, or it could be the cleaning crew. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, Andy. So, forthcoming projects, what do you do?
Yes, there'll be another Andy Timmons band record that we're working on, so a follow-up to Theme from a Perfect World. I'm going to be doing a vocal record. I don't know if you saw, but I did a remake of David Bowie's Heroes track.
Oh.
Yeah, that I released as a single. And it kind of reignited my interest in doing a record where I play all the instruments and do some singing. I write a lot of vocal stuff. I just haven't gotten around to recording a lot of it. Yeah. So I'm very Beatle influenced and very Elvis Costello influenced, and maybe a bit of Tom Petty. So I have a bunch of material that I'm going to do more in that traditional kind of format. But always working on playing and trying to improve and maybe do a jazz record.
Oh.
Yeah, you know. There's a video that just got released by Mesa, myself and Mimi Fox, who's a great jazz bebop guitarist. So we're both playing through the new Rosette amp, right? You know?
All right.
And she's playing a beautiful jazz box that Heritage makes for her, but I'm playing this guitar.
So you're into that stuff?
I'm playing the
doing
bebop.
all the chords and doing all the bebop licks?
All the bebop stuff, but on this, I can get a really nice jazz tone. Warm up the neck pickup a little bit. I mean, I've got a nice old like George Benson GB10 and a Matheny guitar, and I love them, but I can't quite connect like I do on this guitar. So I thought, well, that's more authentic, but this is me, you know. So I'm playing bebop on my solid body, but with a nice warm tone. It sounds nice, man. So I do work a lot on playing jazz, even though I'm not a great jazz player. It really informs everything that I do.
Yeah.
Because of the way it really. It teaches you about voice leading, and it teaches you about, you know, tension and release, really, to play out through all those chord changes. And so from all the years of studying jazz, it's how I approach playing rock, too.
Yeah.
So maybe it takes me outside of the normal shreddy scale thing, and I'm thinking more melodic connection than that, you know. Yeah. Even though there's a bit of that in what I do, because everybody loves that. I love it. I'm not great at it, but, you know, that's where I got to get lessons from Tom and Martin. They can show me some stuff. In fact, I'm recording with Martin tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to go to his studio and we're going to play some tunes together. So that'll be coming to a YouTube channel near you, folks.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Beautiful. So I'm sure he will inspire me.
Okay, so the crowd is waiting.
Yes. Come on in.
Come on in, yeah.
Both of you. Oh, I've got gum. That's Chris.
Okay, so
Chris
thank you.
wants me to play clean tonight, yeah.
Chris waiting here, yeah.
Bathroom window.
Okay, so I will ask for Group or Die for today.
Oh, okay.
You'll do that tonight?
Bossa Nova style.
Bossa Nova style.
Yeah. No, for sure. For you, Ollie, I'll play Groove or Die.
All right. Okay. Thanks for being here, Andy.
Thanks, Ollie.
Session here.
Choose.
Choose.
Choose.